y'all, it's Quinn with PTSD while black. I am just thinking on something. I grew up in the South, in Tennessee. I was an outlier within my own community because I would ask why. I didn't understand why my family did not rebel against inequality. I didn't understand why. I didn't understand why it, being stuck was a norm. That it was like some kind of pride was made in staying exactly where you are and not getting an education and not going away from the family. That's where I grew up. And I recognize that's false pride because there are people who are doing the very best they can in a very horrible circumstance, in an extremely horrible situation. I recognize that my mom was of the first generation of kids being integrated. And so going from an all-black school to school with white students and not knowing if you were accepted or enough. Black people chose many methods of survival, and especially if you grew up in the South during the Civil Rights Movement, there were many different identities I think that people took on. And in the case of my mom, there was this identity of proximity to whiteness equals security. And so, of course, that got passed down to me as her daughter, and I very much so learned proximity to whiteness only works if the person uses their privilege. If the person sees you as a human being and is willing to use their privilege, then yeah, that can elevate your life. But, like in the case with me and my husband, he don't know how to use his privilege, y'all. He don't know how to use his privilege! Okay? Anyway, but there's so many things that I want to touch on. Dealing with the stalking situation, they've started up again because I'm now just pointing out the truth. I'm gently just pointing out the truth of stuff. I'm not really going to engage much with these people. It's more for me to point out the truth because it's my reality, which white supremacy does not want to see my reality. Oppression doesn't want to see our reality. And so people, especially black people living in the South, may have chosen to get close to whiteness to try to find some way to be whole. They may try to ignore or deny their reality and say, this is the best I can get, so yay, let's deal with this. So therefore, not leaving the family unit and not going to college was celebrated because at least we're together. And then there are those of us who ran away. We headbutted with the system, realized the system sucks and doesn't see us as human beings, and we left. And had to find our own reality. And that's the journey that I've had. I left home at 19 years old, not really expecting to survive that journey. But what I recognize now that I'm an adult, I'm a woman, I cannot really blame my mom and her generation for much because they grew up in a place where people were being lynched. If you were too proud, too capable, too smart, too haughty, that you did not bow your head to white people and make them feel important, that you were seen as the absolute enemy. And that there was the very likelihood that you, your business, or your family could be destroyed. And that's exactly what I've ran into. Again, meeting with white people from the South, and saying no to them. That I'm going to take care of me. For some reason, these white people in the South are like, what? You're going to leave? You're not going to allow me to abuse you? You're going to take care of your mental health? What? You're taking care of your health so you don't have seizures and you're not dealing with the drama and stress that I'm bringing to you? So they're very surprised of my reaction of leaving, and therefore they're using, get this, they're using the same tactics that black people have used for survival in the Deep South, which is using that need for a proximity to whiteness to better one's life. So, you're friends with this white person who may have some influence and they may be able to get you somewhere. They're like, sure, I'll get you where you need to go if you will harass this woman. or that closeness, that close-knit behavior, that's also being activated in this particular gang stalking experience I have, because I made my TikTok page private, and because of the Black Girl Follow train, I was only following Black women for quite a while, and I was happy, because it's like watching us love on each other was so beautiful, and just watching Black women play and tell jokes, it was wonderful. I was happy. So the new Jim Crow method that these initiators of the gang stalking are doing, because I'm not staying a content little Negro, they are now enlisting Black women to come after me, to basically just repost things that are like, oh, you're not a woman if you don't submit to a man, or you're codependent, and you need to change, or you need to recognize that a man's not going to, he's only going to treat you as well as he treats his mother, or has his relationship with his mother, or what was the other one today? Oh, the other one that's been long term is that being married is not a flex. Being single and proud is the thing to be. I'm like, baby, being you is the thing to be. Whatever you chose for yourself is the thing to be. And that's a motherfucking flex. I can say for myself, being married to someone is a fucking flex, because I had to adjust, had to learn how to grow, had to learn how to be with another human being without cussing them out, without tearing them apart, and to really actually genuinely love someone. So that's a motherfucking flex. That's an accomplishment, and I will claim it. And or if I was choosing to be single and I worked on my education, I worked on my health, I worked on my body, I worked on my grind and my house and my business, fuck yes, that's a flex too. So they're just trying to use division so that you can come up against another Black woman. And I see it happening. And I see how it works. And I see the cycle. And I'm just naming the process at work. It's the very same plan that was used with enslaving Africans, of getting one tribe to go against another one, because I will either threaten to take over your land, or I will give you rifles so that you can defend your land. I'll give you resources to defend your land, and we won't enslave your people. That's all that's happening, baby. They're just doing the same thing again, because they got the same note. And it works because there are some people who go along with it. But I do feel that as human beings, period, not just Black people, but it is Black History Month, so let's talk about it. As human beings, as we learn to love on ourselves, as we learn to love on our value, our inherent worth and dignity of being here, we are less susceptible to these little tricks. And yeah, they may resort to other things like with the attacks they were doing on my computer, of trying to hold me hostage from being able to download Microsoft Office, or interrupting the digital download I have with Dell for my software from when I first purchased my computer. There are little things that these people are doing as ransom. The ransomware is missing. So I'm having to work with that. They are doing the exact same thing, the exact same racist behaviors as their ancestors, just digitally, just using social media. The story hasn't changed. And for these people who are like, I'm not racist because I date Black women, or I'm not racist because I had a best Black friend. Yes, but do you honor that person's humanity, worth, and dignity? And do you honor the humanity, worth, and dignity that may be different than your own, and celebrate it? Because, yeah, there's a lot more involved than just being proximity to Blackness to not being a racist. Till next time. Peace.